It is Thursday night, and we are live for another round of the Sim Auto Racing Association Pierce Fleet Service Super Series. Tonight, it's the Rocket iRace Wraps 150 from the Nashville Mini. I am Jeff By Jr., joined by Bill Tomer, the broadcast booth. And Bill, we talked about it all week. This is basically the iRacing version of Bowman Gray, and we got a huge field of drivers on this. Basically the smallest racetrack you'll ever see in the SARA Super Series.
Jeff, what is the Nashville Mini? I don't think anybody's ever heard of it at this point. If you're not a fan of iRace, if you're not that much, this is a crazy place. This is basically the Fairground Speedway quarter mile, which is something most people have never seen before, and we're about to put 27 cars out of this little thing.
Yeah, these drivers were having a hard time just in practice getting on the racetrack and finding clean places to run. So any kind of green flag run here, probably going to end up in the back of the field and making lap traffic pretty darn quick.
Yeah, they're going to catch the back of, with 27 cars, they're going to catch the back of the field immediately. It's going to be so fast that we're going to be dealing with lap traffic all night long, especially if these guys go green flag racing, which this series has the tendency to do. So it is going to be, I think, different than any race we've had in the SARA Super Series, probably any race we've ever broadcasted, Jeff. Tonight should be very, very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. A really packed racetrack. Opportunity for tempers to flare, right? It's going to take a lot of respect on everybody's part to get around this track. Yeah, the opportunity for tempers to flare here and for things to come unraveled is there. I mean, you might see some drivers that give each other the bump and run and then end up giving it back to each other just because they get so upset about it.
Now, remember, there is a rule here in the SARA Super Series that you're not allowed to bump each other for position. They actually will give out penalties for guys that bump each other intentionally. And so I have no idea how they're going to pass on this little racetrack. It's so hard to get a run. There's barely any straightaway. It is so tight. It's like I said, this is going to be the most interesting race that I think we've probably ever broadcast.
Well, Ryan Kuhn is your points leader, and I believe, I gotta double check, we'll be starting 8th tonight due to the way that the structure is on it's not an 8 invert, it's just the top 8 cars are inverted by their point standing. So Ryan Kuhn going to start 8th tonight, just 15 points ahead of Trevor Edwards. And Trevor Edwards did not have a great qualifying lap, so he's going to be starting in the middle of the field, and he's going to need a big run tonight to try to close that gap because there's just 3 points races left in this season.
Yeah, no time left in the season, and all of our seasons are kind of closing down. We kind of almost lined them up, exactly right, Jeff. So these guys, big night tonight, points on the line. It's gonna be, like I said, I can't use the word interesting enough, Jeff. It is. I cannot wait for this. This is gonna be great.
Well, the field's starting to take shape for tonight's Rockets iRace Wraps 150. Again, round number 8 of the Pierce Fleet Service Super Series, 8 of 10. So just 3 races here left to go. And Bill, very interesting front row because the guy on the outside front row nearly won a race here in ITZR, and he would like to redeem himself tonight.
Yeah, he led enough laps, came off of corner number 4, and I think self-admittedly he told us he choked, basically, gave it away. And yeah, he's here tonight, and he's going to try to make it happen tonight in that 78 car. But there's 26 other drivers that are just as hungry as he is.
Well, we're going to start with the lineups for tonight's Rockets iRace Wraps 150 because 5 pace laps here are going to go very quickly. On the pole in the number 88, that is Kyle Meyer. On the outside of him in the 78 machine, it'll be Aaron Johnson.
Spencer Dickinson's going to roll off P3 in the number 6 machine, and on his outside in the number 13, that's Josh Cottle.
Starting 5th tonight will be the 18 of Cole Cabry. On the outside of him, NASCAR Truck Series driver, the 98 of Ty Majeski.
Jacob Harberts rolls off P7 in the number 80, and on his outside in the 72, very familiar race car here, that's Ryan Kuhn.
Starting 9th will be the 53 of Shane Williamson. On the outside of him, Mr. SARA himself, the 0 of Matt Rolfe.
Kyle Eli rolls off P11 in the number 21 car, and on his outside in the number 33, that's Brent Suggs.
Starting 13th tonight in the number 10 will be Cam Hamilton. On the outside of him in the 16 will be Daniel Pope II.
Starting 15th in the number 60, that is Parker Traves, and on his outside in the number 66, that's Eric Tracy.
Starting 17th on the number 110 will be RS Center. On the outside of him in the 91, it'll be Dylan Bates.
Starting 19th in the number 32, that's Trevor Edwards, and on his outside in the number 2, that's Wally Wilson.
Starting 21st tonight, the 51, Orion Matthews makes his return to the Super Series. On the outside of him will be the 22nd place starter, the 24, Sean Cool.
John Willett rolls off P23 and the number 8, and on his outside, starting 24th in the 88 car, that's Keith Jeffrey.
Starting 25th tonight will be the 7, Kyle Souza. On the outside of him in the 45 machine, it'll be Jason Warren.
And the ravishing one, his first ever SARA Super Series race in the number 11, it's Rick Rube.
Well, Bill, we are set 27 cars. We should mention Spencer Dickinson picked up the Matthew Designs Pole Award earlier tonight. The shop machines look very, very strong, and they've got 3 up there right in the top of the field. So keep an eye on all the shop cars, because in practice and qualifying, they really had a lot of pace, but we were waiting to see if the pace car is going to dip off. Looks like we're going to go one more time around here.
You can now see from this camera angle how tight and small this racetrack is. Yes, actually how many ended up? All 27 are here. You have some 27 cars, 150 laps on this tiny little racetrack. Again, interesting is tonight's word, and we're about to go green flag racing.
Well, shout out to Blake Thronberg here cheering for the Shop Boys and Race EPI. Ryan Frick here cheering for the Ravishing one. And pace car is going to head off the racetrack. Kyle Meyer is going to have control of this start. We are off and racing in the Rocket iRace Wraps 150 here at the Nashville Mini.
Side by side through turns 1 and 2. Kyle Meyer able to clear the second pair. Spencer Dickinson and Aaron Johnson are going to go side by side through 3 and 4. Most of the field, you can see how hard they have to check up, get into the corners. Super tight racetrack here at the Mini. Watch that wall going into turn number 1.
And they all made it through the first lap, so we are clean and green through lap number 1. Now here comes Cole Cavery putting the pressure to Aaron Johnson. Johnson lost a spot to Spencer Dickinson. Now he's under attack from Cavery, and you saw that 78. As soon as he tried to pick up the throttle, that thing jumped sideways on him. That's something you need to be careful of doing tonight.
Most guys up front getting single file. First battle on the racetrack, that's Shane Williamson in the 53. He's to the inside of Ty Majeski. Majeski slots in line. It's Matt Rolfe that's caught on the outside of the 00. He's the first car that's too wide.
Yeah, Matt Rolfe trying to find a place in line. The whole field has gotten about single file. He's the last guy. He can't find a place in line. Now here comes Kyle Eli in the 21 machine. Behind him, it's the 33 of Brett Suggs. So there's just nowhere for Matt Rolfe to go. He either can hang out there and hope for a caution at some point, or just keep at it and maybe find a way to the back here.
Yeah, it's not something you want to do is fall to the back of this field at this racetrack. I think track position is going to be a huge premium tonight. It's so hard to pass in this place. Brent Suggs on the inside of Matt Rolfe. Now Rolfe all the way back to 11th now as he runs. Let's see if he can find the way in the line.
He tried, but Cam Hamilton got the nose there. Now a little trouble through 1 and 2 allows Matt Rolfe to finally clear. He'll slot in the 12th position in front of Cameron Hamilton.
Now we got a lot of cars nose to tail throughout this field. Kyle Meyer out front, Spencer Dickinson close there in the 6. Cole Cavery's kind of let them go as he's fallen just behind them a little bit in the 18 car, about a 6 car length advantage for those front 2.
Well, the pace is much slower than we saw in practice and qualifying. These guys can run 13.8s. They have slowed down into about high 14.2s, 14.3s. So definitely some tire conservation going on right now. Nobody really pushing the pace, but also not seeing a lot of cars moving through the field either. It doesn't seem anybody's in a hurry to start gaining track position right now. Kyle Meyer leads the way. He's led every lap so far of this one with Spencer Dickinson in tow. Long gap back to Cole Cavery, who sits 3rd with Aaron Johnson behind him. Jacob Harberts runs 5th. Ryan Kuhn, your points leader, sits 6th. Josh Cottle, 7th. Shane Williamson moved up to the 8th position. Ty Majeski in 9th. Kyle Eli into the top 10.
Here comes Aaron Johnson for 3rd. Aaron Johnson in the I Love Mac and Cheese car. Passes Cole Cavery through 3 and 4. Cavery back to 4th. Johnson up to 3rd.
Cole Cavery was able to get in line, so no trouble there, as Harberts was just a little too far back to be able to keep the 18 on the outside. Shane Williamson almost got to the back of Josh Cottle there through 3 and 4. Didn't quite make contact, or if he did, it was very slight, so Cottle still running in the 7th position.
A lot of cars nose to tail. We got to keep an eye, Jeff, on those leaders and see how quickly they start to catch the back of the field, as they are on the same straightaway already.
Yeah, that's Jason Warren. It's fallen to the back now. And Warren started 26th. He's been passed by Rick Rube, so he's the last car on the racetrack. And the leaders can start to see him. They're going to be reeling in Jason Peretti quickly here.
You can see the leaders start to appear in the screen. We watch Jason Warren circulate the racetrack. Here comes Kyle Eli, Spencer Dickinson in tow.
Probably one of the bumpiest racetracks I've seen so far with this car as well. I mean, they are just, especially off turn 2, you can see the car is just bouncing and hopping off the corner, and that means it's going to be really difficult to put the throttle down when you're trying to make a pass on the inside and that car is bouncing around like that. That's you losing traction. You're unsettling the car.
Well, there's that odd curve as well through turns 1 and 2 that these guys seem to put the left front on. You can see Kyle Meyer get there right now, and didn't quite do it that time, but you see that every once in a while those cars kind of get the left front to pick up. That puts a little more weight on that rear, gets them to turn the corner a little better. Still an odd place to get around.
Cole Cabry's lost touch with Aaron Johnson now, and they are starting to stack up behind him. That's Jacob Harberts and Ryan Kuhn that are lined up right behind Cole Cabry with just about the rest of the field. So looks like Cole Cabry is starting to struggle just a bit here on this long 20-lap run, and all of a sudden Harberts and the rest of these guys look like they might have a little more pace in the 18.
Like you said, behind Cole Cabry, it's pretty much everybody. So if he was to bounce off of line and they can all line up, the 18 car is going to be stuck on the outside for a while. Ryan Kuhn just took a peek to the inside of Jacob Harberts through 1 and 2. You can see Kuhn running a little bit lower line than the 80 car. The 80 car is up off the yellow line just a little bit. Kuhn's got his left side tires under the yellow line. He's running that line I just talked about, and now here comes the move. Ryan Kuhn going to look underneath Jacob Harberts. That's a battle for that fourth, actually making the 5th position. Harberts up the racetrack. He's going to have a challenge now from Josh Cottle.
Harbert's going to try to get in line as Cottle clears, but Shane Williamson is there. He was already filling that gap, so Harberts is stuck now as Ty Majeski going to take the look underneath him as well. So again, as soon as you get past, it's like you're going to sink through this field because there's just nowhere to pull in line as Kyle Eli now fills the inside line. Ooh, and he makes contact with Harberts. They're going to get together. Now here comes Brett Suggs. So Harberts, again, he's just fading on the outside line here.
A little bit farther back, Jeff, there's a battle. Ryan Matthews just made a move on, I believe it was Sean Cool. Actually, no, it wasn't Sean Cool. It was the 2-car Wally Wilson. Sean Cool making a move as well as he goes by Wilson. Here comes Keith Jeffrey, the 88. That's all battle inside, just inside the top 20.
Yeah, and your leader is now in lap traffic. They have gone around Jason Warren and have caught Rick Rube now, the last car in the lead lap in the 26th position. So they are, and Kyle Meyer just got turned around. He had to check up for Rick Rube. Spencer Dickinson got in the back of him, and around goes the 88. Your leader has spun. Lap 28 caution, the first one of the night, and it is your race leader.
Ouch. I think we watched that live. We will try to give you a better look at that, but we'll first see what we just saw as they went into turn number 1. Rick Rube was underneath John Wallette. Meyer started to think about the move and then had to check up, and Dickinson didn't expect him to lock the brakes up in front of him.
Yeah, the 88 absolutely stomped on the brakes there. You can see the front brakes lock up. He comes to a near stop, and Dickinson just gets in there, and there's nothing he can do. Turns around the 88. Now the question is, will the 6 be going to the rear of the field? He has the opportunity, and he does. He is going to claim that, Bill. So send the 6 of Spencer Dickinson back to the end of the field. And now we got a new race leader here, and it's going to be Aaron Johnson.
I think that's pretty devastating for your 2 leaders. They have absolutely driven away from everyone else.
And Kyle Meyer can't even get turned around. He's going to lose a lap now from the lead to now going a lap down because he just can't get that car turned back around with all the traffic wrapped all the way around this racetrack. I mean, just from bad to worse now for Kyle Meyer.
Got a feel for him, right? I mean, we were able to get an interview with him earlier this season. Felt great about being on the podium, and tonight was leading this race almost 30 laps in.
Yeah, absolutely devastating night.
Yeah, lap cars I don't want to say get in the way, just kind of throw them a curveball and a little bit of unexpected contact.
field trying to get settled up here, and Aaron Johnson will be your new leader with Ryan Kuhn second, Josh Cottle, Cole Cabry, and Shane Williamson your top 5. Ty Majeski will restart 6th with Kyle Eli 7th, Brett Suggs 8th, Matt Rolfe 9th, Cam Hamilton into the top 10 now. Bill, we are doubled up. I believe the pace car lights are out, so Aaron Johnson going to have control of this start. Your new leader after the leaders get collected in lap traffic. Pace car going to head off the racetrack. Aaron Johnson now going to start this race. The Rocket iRace Wraps 150 is back underway. Lap 33 restart. Ryan Kuhn trying to roll the top side. He's trying to get around the 78 here on this restart.
You see the flat entry from Aaron Johnson really dove that car in early, staying away from the 72 of Kuhn. They're side by side through 3 and 4. Johnson trying to get off the bottom. Kuhn doing a great job on the top side.
And Josh Cottle here can make life miserable for Ryan Kuhn, and he does. He gets to the inside of the 72 machine. Now Ryan Kuhn's gonna have to battle for the second spot here with Cottle. Kuhn looks like he's gonna back out, try to get in line, but here comes Shane Williamson. Williamson's gonna give him a little bit of a room there, and now Ryan Kuhn's slotted into the 3rd position. Caution is waving down the back straightaway. Got one around it. Sean Cool going down into turn 1.
The Cool in the 24 car backwards as you enter turn 1. Take a look and see what happened to him as they came down the front straightaway.
Looks like he got mixed up with Keith Jeffrey.
Just squeeze. Little squeeze play there down the front straightaway.
Yeah, Jeffrey was on the wall. Looks like Sean just kind of misjudged it there. Maybe following Ryan Matthews didn't know somebody was on the outside of him. And not much Keith Jeffrey can do there as the 24 gets turned around going into turn 1. And we're back under yellow for our second caution of this race.
Sean looked like he had a hard time getting that car back into gear. That's interesting.
And he might have lost a lap as well. Looks like it's holding him behind the pace car. Good news for him is I don't think it's going to score him behind the leader. It's going to score him just behind the pace car. So he will get a wave round here as we go to 2 to go. I believe Kyle Meyer going to get his lap back. So Kyle Meyer will be back on the lead lap after leading about the first 20-something laps of this race. Kyle Meyer back on the lead lap. We'll have 27 on the lead lap, but it's still a long road to hoe for Kyle Meyer. He is going to be buried in traffic back here. And Bill, given that we've had a couple cautions, really no damage to anybody. I mean, maybe a little damage to Sean Cool and Keith Jeffrey there, but very light damage to any of these cars at this point. So even with 2 incidents already, it's they haven't been big stack-ups.
No, nothing really to write home about. Just a couple of small incidents, which is good. I mean, you don't want to see a lot of cars get wrecked out here. It is a tiny, tiny little racetrack, so they're not carrying a tremendous amount of speed, but we don't want to see any wrecked race cars.
Looks like the field is doubled up. Pace car going to head off the racetrack. Aaron Johnson going to head into the restart zone with Josh Cottle, his teammate, now on the outside. Ryan Kuhn will restart 3rd. And looks like Cottle just couldn't quite keep pace with the 78 coming off turn 4. That's going to open up the door for Ryan Kuhn. Trying to take 2nd back away from the 13. Cottle needs to get down in line. It looks like he's going to have room in front of Ty Majeski. And now as I say that, Majeski kind of said it there in turn 3. They're going to be side by side down the front straightaway. Majeski gets hooked up with Williamson. Now Williamson's going to lose some spots to Cole Cabry.
Absolute great racing happening as everybody tries to find the bottom. You have to find the bottom in this parking lot of a racetrack. I mean, it's so flat. There's just nothing for the top to grab onto.
Aboard Matt Rolfe is stuck on the outside once again. He's on the outside of the 10 of Cameron Hamilton. This is a battle for about 9th on the racetrack. Rolfe had it last time, and Rolfe's trying to send it up there on the top, and you can see mid-corner. It's just so hard to get anywhere, and he actually does clear Cameron Hamilton, so great job getting back into line, even after restarting on the outside once again.
Yeah, Rolfe has been doing a great job. He's been passing cars, getting in front of cars as well as he was back. We saw him jump on the outside. He was running 11th. He's up to 9th in the 0 car.
You got to go ways back now to see any double file racing, and that's the 7 of Souza, Kyle Souza, battling with RS Center. He does clear the 110. Now behind them, Eric Tracy's battling with Wally Wilson and the 2 Machine on the outside. They make a little contact coming off turn 4. There's Spencer Dickinson behind them. He's trying to get his way back to the front because he knows he has a very good car tonight. Well, Aaron Johnson is out front on lap 48. Ryan Kuhn in tow. Ryan's starting to put some pressure on Aaron Johnson. He is right there on the back bumper, and you can see Aaron being very protective of turn 1 and turn 3, keeping a very shallow entry, but that's allowing Ryan Kuhn to kind of gain some momentum on corner exit. He swings that car wide, cuts the center, and he's got good runs coming off the corner.
I think Ryan Kuhn is one of the only drivers we would actually see to make a pass here. He was able to get underneath the car and make that move. Kuhn looking to see if he can do the same thing, but Aaron Johnson doing a fantastic job running in the tire tracks that Kuhn used to make that pass earlier in the race.
And you can see there, the 78, because of his injury, just couldn't quite get rotated in the center of the corner. And the 72 machine gets right to his bumper. And Aaron, he has to be defensive of the inside, but I feel like it might be killing him right now.
It doesn't even apex to the wall that time, as he was afraid that Ryan Kuhn was going to get the run. So now Kuhn going to look to the inside down the front straightaway. Can the 72 make the move? They go into turn number 1. Aaron shuts the door.
That was close, but Kuhn's got a huge run down the back straightaway because the 78 couldn't get rotated through the center of the corner. Now Ryan Kuhn is there. Aaron Johnson under attack. He's sideways off turn 4. They might bang doors a little bit. But now Ryan Kuhn's to the front. Here comes Josh Cottle. He's looking for second. His teammate is caught on the outside.
Aaron Johnson did not want to give away that position. Unfortunately, Kuhn made the move, did a fantastic job with that move. Now Ty Majeski's going to go by. He'll spot up to third. Aaron Johnson back to fourth, and there's a little bit of a gap back to Cole Caber in fifth.
Well, Aaron Johnson has been big time sideways. Now he's down in the grass a little bit. He just needs to settle in. I think he's got himself a little over anxious there. Just needs to settle in, start running some laps. He's still in a good spot here in the top 5 of this race. Ryan Kuhn is your new leader, your points leader, has found his way out front, but he's got Josh Cottle right with him. And that 13 machine looks like he is keeping pace with Ryan Kuhn. So we talked about it. Those shop cars look really fast in practice, and I think Josh Cottle is showing just how much speed they have.
And Cottle's starting to put some pressure on Ryan Kuhn. He's right there, gets to the back bumper. It's amazing how you get through the corners here, Jeff, and sometimes you get a great run and you're all over the back bumper, then you make just a tiny little bit of mistake through the corner, and then the other guy does so much better, and then you've lost a car length or two.
And one pass there is Jacob Harbert's got passed by Dylan Bates, moved Dylan Bates up into the 15th position. Behind them, Spencer Dickinson's been trying to get around Wally Wilson. The 2 machine's starting to get real loose, and Spencer keeps looking underneath the 2, just can't quite get a run on him.
We talked about it in the pre-race, Jeff, that it is going to be so difficult to pass here. It's so hard to get a run. The guys, even if they're in front of you, even if they make a mistake, it's just so difficult to get any kind of run here because the straightaways are so short.
Yeah, absolutely. You really need a mistake. You need them to mess up. And Josh Cottle just had a moment there coming off turn 2, hit the inner curb, and it really bounced that car sideways. He lost some ground to Ryan Kuhn, and that's going to allow Ty Majeski to start to reel in these top 2 drivers. Kyle Eli trying to get underneath Cole Cavery as well. Cavery in the 5th position has kind of lost touch with Aaron Johnson. And as we saw earlier, Cavery's got a bunch of cars lined up behind him, and that starts with Kyle Eli in the 6th position.
Those leaders just about to get into lap traffic again, Jeff. That's what shook the field up, or at least the top 5 earlier in this race. Ryan Kuhn starting to see the back of the field, only about 5 car lengths ahead of him, and we saw it earlier with Kyle Meyer, Spencer Dickinson.
Ooh, Trevor Edwards and Parker Traves just got together, and it looked like Parker just turned the 32 around. He was not happy about the contact, drove it into turn 1 and 2, got in the back of Edwards and spun him around.
Edwards able to spin the 32 car back around as he backed it to the inside of the back straightaway there and was able to spin the 32 back around. We've seen a lot of cars, Jeff, get stuck where they couldn't get, they can't spin around or else they're going to hit the field basically. Trevor did a good job backing it down and getting her spun back around.
Yeah, that was a battle for 13th. And I don't think Edwards made contact with Parker. He sent it off into turn 3 that last time by. And I think Traves had to make an evasive maneuver to not get hit, and that might have upset the 60 just a bit there.
You can see a lot of beating and banging between those. Wow, Parker just said nope.
Well, we talked about it, Bill. The tempers could flare at a racetrack like this, and that's what
Yeah.
you just saw there. And the 60 was not happy about the way that the 32 got around them. And unfortunately, the 32 is going to go to the rear of the field, and now Parker Traves will join him as well. Ryan Matthews got through that one. You can see Matthews he had to cut that thing hard to the left to avoid Trevor Edwards, and he did. Was able to get through that without any serious damage to his car. Ryan Matthews trying to claw his way forward. Started 21st. He's up to the 11th position. It looks like we are double file. Ready to go back to green flag racing with the 72 Orion Kuhn out front with Josh Cottle now starting second. Ty Majeski up to the 3rd spot. Aaron Johnson will restart 4th. We are back in the restart zone for Ryan Kuhn, and he is off and away. Got a fantastic restart. He'll be well clear of Cottle. Can Cottle get down in line? Majeski will be there to fill the gap on the inside. Couldn't quite get the run off turn 2, so they are all single file through the top 4. Trouble again. Caution is out lap 71. I see John Ouellette in the 8 machine turn around. He's going to lose a lap here under this caution.
Looks like he might have gotten some help. Eric Tracy was behind him.
And he got a bump.
Eric's got to the back end of the 8 car.
Eric looked like he was racing the 32 at Edwards, who was on the outside, and just kind of maybe watching the car on the outside, not watching the car ahead of him. He picked up the throttle just a little too early, and around went Ouellette.
Let's see. Take a look at it from Eric's in-car camera. Actually, that's John's in-car camera right there. Let's see if we can get Eric's for you here. So we see what he sees. He's trailing the 8 car going down into turn number 3. Hard on the brakes. Just in the center, the 8 car stacks it a little bit. Eric doesn't react, turns him around.
Well, Ouellette did lose a lap there, so he'll be the only car 1 lap down in the 27th position. Ryan Matthews, really the big mover so far in the Jeff Bly Jr. Art Hard Charger Award run, sitting 21st. Now up to, or started 21st. He's up to 12th. Kyle Souza started 25th. He's up to 15th. Kyle Eli started 11th. Is up to 6th. Again, your leader, Ryan Kuhn, he started 8th tonight, so we talked about how hard it would be to pass. It didn't take long for Ryan Kuhn to get to the front. We are actually at halfway here. So they cross the line, we'll get 1 to go.
Well, Jeff, I think the price of poker went up after the first yellow. What do you think?
Yeah, it definitely seemed that way. That first initial run, everybody seemed really patient, and now the patience is starting to wear off. And I think you're going to start seeing these guys, they're really going to need to start thinking about which spot they're in if a caution waves again, because if you're Josh Cottle, the last thing you want is to be restarting on the outside, or Aaron Johnson. He definitely doesn't want to be restarting 4th here on these restarts. So here we go back to racing in the Rocket iRace Wraps 150. Ryan Kuhn is clear of Josh Cottle. Majeski going to try to take a shot at 2nd, but Cottle back on the throttle quickly and able to clear.
First battle on the racetrack is Cole Cabry, the inside of Kyle Eli. That's a battle for the 5th position. Cabry, they're going to stay side by side as Cabry's right on the back bumper. Aaron Johnson. Now Cabry able to start clearing the 21 as the bottom is definitely the way to be, or the way to go here at this racetrack. Here comes Shane Williamson as he's going to look to the inside as well.
He's going to try to keep it there as Kyle Eli tried to get down the racetrack. They're going to make some more contact. Eli does keep the spot. Shane Williamson's going to have to give it up. And then behind them, it's Matt Rolfe again on the outside line. Can't find a way down in line.
Matt Rolfe has just been stuck on the outside on every restart.
And he's trying to get down and behind Brett Suggs. He can't do it. Here comes Cam Hamilton now in the 10 machine. Not going to give any room to the 0. So now can Matt Rolfe slot back in line behind Cam Hamilton? Doesn't look like it because here comes Daniel Pope in the 16. Kyle Souza's on the move back there battling with Ryan Matthews. Ryan's running 13th, but Kyle Souza's trying to take that spot away, and he does. Here comes RS Center.
Ryan Matthews caught on the outside as well, Jeff. You just talked about him being one of the top movers moving through the field, trying to get the Jeff By Jr. Art Hard Charger Award, and now Ryan Matthews caught on the outside after the restart, so he's sliding backwards.
Well, Matt Rolfe did get in line, but it was behind Dylan Bates, so moved Matt back to the 12th position. Ryan Matthews still under fire because here comes Spencer Dickinson, who was up at the front earlier tonight. He's now trying to work his way back forward. He goes around Ryan Matthews. He'll finally get down in front of Jacob Harberts, but move Ryan back to the 16th position.
Track position, that is so difficult to recover from here at this racetrack.
Ryan Kuhn out front, lap 85. Josh Cottle in second. Ty Majeski runs third with Aaron Johnson fourth. Cole Cavery fifth. Kyle Eli sitting in the sixth position. Shane Williamson seventh. Brett Suggs eighth. Cameron Hamilton ninth. Daniel Pope into the top 10. Field's starting to get spread out here, Bill. That they're pretty much single file all the way around the racetrack, and they're starting to see some gaps grow now. And now Ryan Kuhn's starting to see the back end of the field. That's John Ouellette, who's already one lap down in the 27th position, right ahead of him.
So you ride with Ryan Kuhn to see what a lap looks like in the leader's shoes. I see it bounce over that curb through 1 and 2. What a bump that is. But man, they use a lot of the apron here, Jeff.
Yeah, it definitely is. The car is going to tighten up. Guys are going to start trying to cut that corner on the inside a little bit more. They'll try to upset the car, get the car lifted up off the ground, and rotate in the center that way. And sometimes you can overdo it, though. That's the problem. If you grab too much curb on the inside, you can spin the car out. So it's really, really got to be careful doing it, but eventually you can help the car turn a little bit by unsettling it just a bit, as Brett Suggs really putting some pressure to Shane Williamson here for the 7th position. The 33 looks like it's rotating pretty good, and you can see the run he gets down the front. Shane Williamson going to let him go. He's going to try to get down in front of Cam Hamilton, but just couldn't quite do it. Now he's going to get down the line.
Wow. He stopped getting into turn number 3. He knew he had to get behind Cam Hamilton, and there was a gap back to Daniel Pope, so he just stopped just to get to the bottom.
Well, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right? You see the hole, you got to go for it before it gets filled up, and that's what Shane Williamson did. Well, Bill, your leader is
wall, Jeff.
Your leader is in lap traffic now. He has caught John Ouellette, and this is what got Kyle Meyer in trouble, is when he caught lap traffic. And right now, Ryan Kuhn makes the move around John Ouellette, puts him his second lap down. Josh Cottle will get by. But now he's caught up with Jason Warren here, and Jason Warren, the last car in the lead lap in the 26th position, he's going to let Ryan Kuhn go. Now they're catching Rick Rube. He is the 25th place car. Wally Wilson got sideways off turn 4 right ahead of that group. That stacked up the 11 and the 66. Ryan Kuhn's going to try to dive underneath Rick Rube there.
I think Rube started to give him room and then said no, but now he's going to give him plenty of room as they go through 3 and 4.
And Walton's going to spin right in front of the leader. Kuhn is going around
and over. Oh my gosh.
That is the second time tonight lap traffic has caught your leader.
Oh my gosh.
Wally Wilson was battling really hard with Eric Tracy. They were battling for about the 24th spot. and Wilson just starts to spin off turn 4. There's nowhere for Ryan Kuhn to go.
My mouth is wide open, Jeff. That was, I don't even know what to say there. Oh my gosh.
And to make matters worse, Ryan Kuhn, the points leader coming into the night.
Oh. I mean, lap traffic, we talked about it. We set it up perfectly. We did not know this would happen twice, though. What? Wow, what a change of events in this race.
You can see Eric Tracy and Wally Wilson were battling hard. Wilson he got on the gas just a little too early, then got sideways. And when Ryan Kuhn tried to react, it was Cottle that was behind him, just nowhere for Josh Cottle to go. He ended up kind of putting the 72 into the fence, but there was nothing he could really do there in that moment.
If you ever wanted to see what the bottom of a late model stock looked like, there you get a good shot of it. Unbelievable. I mean, Ryan Kuhn had nowhere to go.
Yeah, if he didn't make that move to the outside or slow down, he was going to hit the 2-car head on. But when he stopped, he got hit from behind. I mean, that's really nothing he could have done there.
We'll watch it from Josh Cottle's view as well. That's the other player in this one, is he had nowhere to go, as just can't even see what's happening, and then he's into into Ryan Kuhn, flips him over. Unbelievable.
Well, we are doubled up. Pace car lights are out. Josh Cottle, your new leader, with Ty Majeski on the outside. Aaron Johnson will restart third. Cole Cavery fourth. Kyle Eli now into the top 5. Matt Rolfe has battled all night long on the outside line. He will again, starting 10th here. This pace car goes off the racetrack. Cottle, Majeski bring it back to green with just about 47 laps remaining in this one. Cottle got sideways that time off turn 2. That's going to allow Majeski to hang on the outside. Aaron Johnson has got nowhere to go. He's trying to push his teammate past Majeski. He does finally clear Cottle. Here comes Aaron Johnson trying to get past Majeski. Behind them, Cameron Hamilton and Shane Williamson are battling hard, but this battle for second is still raging. Ty Majeski not giving up on the outside line, and now he loses a spot to Aaron Johnson. Here comes Cole Cavery, the 18 car, starting to come to life late in this one. Little door slamming there with Majeski and Cole Cavery. Majeski, got in the back of the 18 there. Don't know if that was sending a message or if he was trying to get down behind Cole.
I think he was probably just trying to get down behind him. I think he was just trying to find that hole.
Well, he gets down in front of Kyle Eli. He runs 5th. Brett Suggs in the 6th spot. Cam Hamilton got around Shane Williamson. Williamson back into 8th. Daniel Pope 9th. Matt Rolfe got back down to the inside line in 10th. Then you got Kyle Souza battling hard with Dylan Bates for the 11th position. Bates is going to lose that battle, and here comes RS Center up the inside in the 110. And caution is out here, lap 109. And 2 cars stacked up. It's Rick Rube and Sean Cool in turn 1 and 2. Looks like it started with Sean Cool.
Gets a boot from Keith Jeffrey. Rick Rube, an innocent bystander there, as he was coming in late.
Yeah, Sean looks like he was trying to get down behind Kyle Meyer. And maybe just Jeffrey didn't expect him to slow up as much as he did. Just kind of sends the 24 off into turn 1. And then he gets some contact from his teammate, Eric Tracy.
I think Sean was clear there, so it's definitely his right to drive into that line.
Yeah, I think Sean had it. I think it just the car behind him
could get wound up.
Yeah, Keith Jeffrey just didn't expect him to have to slow up as much as he did for Kyle Meyer. And we talk about it, Bill. These spoilers and stuff are so tall, and you sit so low in the cockpit that you really can't see much of what's happening in front of the car ahead of you. So you're kind of looking at the other guy's spoiler and wondering what might be happening up there. And a lot of times you're just going by feel, you just kind of get used to what other people are doing, and that's how hard you drive into the corner. And when they have to hit the brakes for something, you don't really get a chance to react.
Yeah, you're hoping that they don't have any issues and check up in front of you is basically what happens there.
Well, Kyle Souza did clear Dylan Bates there in that last little run, so he'll restart 11th. Dylan Bates 12th. Bates was able to hold off RS Center, who will restart 13th. Looks like pace car lights are out. They are doubled up. Josh Cottle, Aaron Johnson, a pair of shop cars on the front row. Then Cole Cabry and Ty Majeski going to restart in the second row. Kyle Eli and Brett Suggs in the third row. As pace car heads off the racetrack, Cottle will have control of this restart once again. He is off and away. Great restart for him. Great restart for Cole Cabry, who was right attacking the 78 right off the bat.
Cabry able to slot into second place, gets by Aaron Johnson to move Cabry up to that second spot. Still a battle just behind them for the fifth position. That's Kyle Eli to the inside of Brett Suggs. That's a battle for fifth, and you can see everybody behind them 2x2.
Yeah, front four have got single file. Kyle Eli and Brett Suggs battle. Cameron Hamilton, Shane Williamson battle behind them. And then it's just 2x2 through the field as Suggs gets down behind Eli. Williamson still looking for a hole, but Cameron Hamilton is there. And you can start to see these cars are sliding now, Bill. The rear tires are starting to fade. They're getting looser and looser as Shane Williamson and Cameron Hamilton rubbing doors off turn 4. Williamson still can't find a way in line.
He slid into turn number 1.
I think he will get down here behind Cameron Hamilton as Daniel Pope and Matt Rolfe battle.
Of course, Matt Rolfe on the outside again.
Yeah, I think Matt's just been running the top side most of the race. He's starting to build a line up there, and look at it work. He's actually making it stick for a bit. Is Daniel Pope finally going to clear the zero? No, Matt's going to drive it back into turn 3 on the outside one more time.
And Matt might have the best outside car we've seen all night long as he's able to defend that outside. They actually were able to get away from the cars behind him as Kyle Souza is going to battle with Dylan Bates. Here comes RS Center in the 110.
Bates has been stuck on the outside since the drop of the green flag here on this restart as RS Center now is underneath the 91 machine. This is a battle for 12th on the racetrack. RS Center got sideways, didn't allow for Bates to clear behind him, and now Ryan Matthews in the 51 machine is in this mix, so Bates will be stuck on the outside for a little bit longer here. Caution is out, lap 122. Looking to see what might have happened there. I don't see anybody turned around. Maybe Cam Hamilton? No, not Cam Hamilton. Oh, it actually might have been Sean Cool and John Ouellette, and it was kind of a quick caution there.
Feels like the same 5 or 6 drivers have had issues in this race, unfortunately.
Yeah, poor John
boy.
He's 2 laps down already, and looks like the 24 maybe was a little frustrated that the car 2 laps down. He's not racing for position, wouldn't let him by.
Oh, I'm not sure. I think Sean just got in the corner really hard, Jeff. It looks like he hit the brakes enough to unsettle his own car. And then maybe a little bit of netcode help for the 24 as that 8 snapped quickly. That was, well, he did give him a pretty good shot.
I think Sean is going to be a little frustrated that the yellow even waved for that one, because he did help straighten the 8 out. And it kind of would have been just keep on racing, no harm, no foul. But unfortunately, the yellow does wave there. So the 24 are going to go to the rear of the field. He can claim that one. One cool thing about this racetrack, Bill, those cameras are ultra close to the action right there. You got a pretty good look at John Ouellette sideways there. Ryan Kuhn is back on the racetrack, 3 laps down. He is running last, 27th position, but getting your points leader, he's just hoping for some more attrition here late in this one. Maybe he can pick up a few spots. The guy that's chasing them in the points, Trevor Edwards, is running 15th, so he's not having the best night either. So it might not be as devastating for Ryan Matthews tonight, unless the 32 somehow finds his way to the front late in this one. Pace car off the racetrack. Josh Cottle going to send us green flag racing once again. Cole Cabrey on the outside. Looks like Cabrey's going to get down right in front of Aaron Johnson. The 78 kind of left him a gap there. Now Ty Majeski on the outside. Kyle Eli, Brett Suggs, they battle behind this group. Looks like Aaron will clear. Majeski gets down. Now Kyle Eli trying to get clear of Brett Suggs, but Suggs has got the 33 rolling on the top pretty well. Gabriel starting to give a little shot there to your leader, Josh Cottle, the 18, starting to really come to life as Eli and Brett Suggs bang doors into turn one. Looks like Suggs is going to lose that battle. Kyle Eli will take that fifth spot back. Now he gets into the right rear quarter panel, got Eli a little sideways. Going to stack everybody up behind him. That's Cam Hamilton and Shane Williamson. Eli able to hold on. Now they are stacking up right behind him as Brett Suggs had to put on the brakes. The two guys racing side by side had to check up hard, and that's going to allow Daniel Pope to pull alongside Shane Williamson. Trouble again for Suggs, who now Cam Hamilton's going to try to take a look underneath.
Pretty good racing in the middle of the field. Now Shane Williamson able to get down in front of Pope, but that stacks everybody up, and Kyle Souza is going to be the odd man out.
Parker Trey's going to go around off the front bumper of the 80, but no caution. They're still racing because everybody's in the infield. Now the caution's going to wave as your leader was just coming through turns 1 and 2. Kyle Souza and Parker Traves in that yellow.
Souza just couldn't get that car spun around quick enough. Parker was gone. Souza had a hard time getting her spun around.
You said it was a stack up fighting for the bottom there. That's what caused that one. Because they were heading into turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, the Shane Williamson car, the 53 machine, drops to the bottom, which caused all the cars behind him to jam on the brakes. That include Daniel Pope, Matt Rolfe. Shane Williamson locks up the left front. And then Souza spins off the nose of RS Center. And Jacob Harberts gets in the back of Parker Traves.
Yeah, Shane got to the bottom, and then he almost got in the back of Cameron Hamilton, and he locks up the brakes. And that stacks up Daniel Pope, and Matt Rolfe gets in the back of Pope. It stops the zero car dead in its tracks. And then Kyle Souza, just the victim of the accordion effect there, as RS Center gets in the back of him. Trevor Edwards gets pushed through that whole mess.
Yeah, that's we've seen a lot of accordions this season, Jeff.
I think we're going to see John Ouellette get a lap back here. He'll be the lucky dog. He was 2 laps down, make him 1 lap down in the 26th position. But now we're going to go back to green with about 10 laps to go in this one. And this is where it's going to get really fierce fighting for these restarts, because there is no chance now you're going to let anybody in line at this point in the race.
No, this is where the gloves come off. Price poker's up, gloves are coming off.
Let's say your Phil, Josh Cottle, Cole Cabrey, Aaron Johnson, Ty Majeski, Kyle Eli, your top 5. Brett Suggs, Cam Hamilton, Shane Williamson, Daniel Pope, Matt Rolfe, your top 10. Dylan Bates runs 11th with Ryan Matthews, RS Center, Trevor Edwards, and Jacob Harberts, your top 15. And again, 24 cars on the lead lap still in this one as Parker Traves brings up the rear of the field here. Josh Cottle, Cole Cabrey, they're going to go green with 11 laps to go.
Remember we talked about me closing my eyes, Jeff?
This is about time to do it right here. Cottle is back on the loud pedal, but Cabrey got a fantastic restart. But so did Aaron Johnson and Majeski. They're side by side. Now Cabrey's going to get turned around in turn 1, collects Aaron Johnson. We got big trouble.
I think the whole field just wrecked in turn 2.
Oh, man. Cam Hamilton is around. RS Center involved. Dylan Bates involved. And it's devastating for the two guys up front, Aaron Johnson, Cole Cabrey. They were having such good runs tonight, and just a late restart going into turn 1. Contact sends the 18 and the 78 around.
I got to figure out how this happened. I mean, 2 cars get hit at the same time.
Looks like the 18 got hit by the 98 right in the center of the corner. And then I think Kyle Eli also gets in the 78. And you said it, 2 cars at the exact same time get hit right in the center of the corner.
It looks like Majeski and Eli both got into the cars in front of them. And I'm not sure if that's because it was just stacked. I don't know there. That's really interesting.
I mean, it puts everybody else in a weird position as well, because you still got Ty Majeski and Kyle Eli up there in the top 5. One of them's got to claim this, but who's it going to be, right?
Yeah,
They both happened the exact same time. So
it looked like Majeski got into Cabry first, but that had nothing to do with what happened to Aaron Johnson.
So it's probably going to be a situation where both of them just let it ride here. They're going to restart up at the front and hope something happens here. And Bill, I don't know what happened with the scoring, but Cole Cabry is going to be sent back up to 2nd. So he gets a huge break. Aaron Johnson not going to get that break. He is back to the 23rd position.
I imagine the yellow came out for Aaron Johnson before Cabry had gone all the way around.
Possibly. So maybe that puts, the caution on Kyle Eli, I guess, who's going to restart 14th here.
No, Jeff. I think that was Cole Cabry saying that's what should happen.
I got you. So Cole Cabry's going to drop to the rear of the field now. Well, Ty Majeski not gonna claim anything. As pace car heads off the racetrack, Josh Cottle, Ty Majeski on the front row. Brett Suggs has worked his way up to 4th. Daniel Pope is in the top 5 now. We are back to green flag racing. Where did Matt Rolfe just go? He went flying off the racetrack into turn 1. We are still green flag racing with Josh Cottle out front. Ty Majeski working the outside. Here comes a banged up 33 of Brett Suggs looking for 2nd.
Matt Rolfe ejected.
We were in the big track right now. Now Shane Williamson's around.
Williamson spinning.
And Kyle Meyer. Dylan Bates is involved. Spencer Dickinson, who just worked his way back up to the front, is involved.
I think it's Wally Wilson is around as well.
He's tied up with Eric Tracy. Kyle Myers, his night has just been disastrous. He just got back into the top 11 and gets caught up in that.
Short track racing. I think this is just Ryan Matthews gets into the back of Williamson.
Yeah, right in the center of the corner. That's the one spot you can't really get into the back of somebody here. And Ryan just gets right in the left rear corner panel, turns him around, and then Shane's just sitting in a terrible spot right in the middle of the racetrack. Nowhere for Kyle Meyer to go. He gets bumped by Kyle Eli. Dickinson's involved. Eric Tracy. Looks like Jason Warren gets a piece of it. Well, Matt Rolfe looks like he is officially out of this race. So that's the spot gain for Ryan Kuhn there. Fortunately for Ryan Kuhn, Trevor Edwards actually got through that incident pretty well. He's going to restart 7th here. So we'll reset your field now as we're going to head into overtime. It'll be one of 2 green-white checkers if needed. Josh Cottle, Brett Suggs, Ty Majeski, Daniel Pope, and Ryan Matthews, your top 5. Jacob Harberts runs 6. Trevor Edwards, Sean Cool, Cole Cabry, Jason Warren, your top 10. RS Center, Dylan Bates, Kyle Souza, Aaron Johnson, and Spencer Dickinson. And remember, we don't really call these yellows, but it looked like the 51 might have been at fault. He's not going to claim that.
It's a good day. It's a good day not to be Matt Rolfe. That's all.
Yeah. So there's going to be some after the race look-ats here as far as cautions caused and who didn't claim cautions, because you got probably 2 cars in the top 5 that might have needed to claim one that didn't. Well, here we go. Green-white checker finish. Josh Cottle, Brett Suggs, Ty Majeski, Daniel Pope, Ryan Matthews, your top 5. Jacob Harbert's back there in the 6th position. Cottle gets control of this restart. He is off and away. Suggs got a pretty good restart. He's getting pushed forward by the 16 there. Suggs going to try to run it on the outside. Does he have room to get down in front of Majeski? Now the 51's going around. Ryan Matthews is crashed on the back straightaway.
A lot of cars crashed on the back straightaway.
Ooh, and Ryan Kuhn just got into the 45 of Jason Warren. Warren was just inside the top 10 on that restart. He gets collected.
Not even sure what happens back there. That was a little bit of mayhem.
And it looks like Jacob Harbert's immediately called that one, so the 80 machine felt he was at fault.
Yeah, he might have gotten into the back of Daniel Pope, which caused Pope.
Yeah, Pope jumps dead sideways. Right rear hooks the 51 as he's trying to save it. The 80 gets collected. Sean Cool involved. Jason Warren gets piled in. Keith Jeffrey gets a piece. Wally Wilson. Man.
Yeah, that's all you can really say about it at this point. Ryan Matthews is loading it onto the trailer. He was just here for a fun run. Just a lot of wrecked race cars. I think I heard one blow up as well.
Well, this is the laps that Ryan Kuhn needed as well. So this will be our final attempt at a green-white checker, but it gives additional laps for Ryan Kuhn to start passing some of these cars caught up in the wreck and maybe save some points here for the 72 machine. Trevor Edwards has managed to make this a pretty good point stay because it was not looking good for him early on. He's now into the top 5. So Trevor Edwards, heck of a way to battle back. Started 19th. He's up in the 5th position now.
That's why you don't give up.
Absolutely. I mean, especially a racetrack like this, anything can happen. Just keep your nose clean, do what you can do. And Trevor Edwards battling through all the adversity tonight as he's going to see Josh Cottle, Brett Suggs on the front row for a final green-white checker restart. Ty Majeski, Daniel Pope in the 2nd row, Trevor Edwards, Cole Cavery in the 3rd row. RS Center will restart 7th. He's started in the 17th position. The guy on the outside of him, Sean Cool, started 22nd tonight. He'll restart 8th. Dylan Bates started 18th. He'll restart 9th. Kyle Souza, who's been turned around at least once tonight, will restart 10th here.
We talked about how this was going to be an interesting race, Jeff. I think that's exactly what we received from this race. So we are about to go green flag racing. Josh Cottle going to lead us to the green again.
Here we go, the Rocket iRace Wraps 150 final. Attempt at a green-white checker. Josh Cottle out front. Suggs trying to keep it on the outside because if yellow waves right now, whoever's out front would win it. Cottle, Brett Suggs. Here comes Majeski. And Suggs going to stick it on the outside, try to keep momentum going. Sean Cool's going around. Josh Cottle's going to win the race.
No. The pace car got out. Sean Cool went around. And I think, Jeff, the pace car got out in front of the... This is going to be one of those situations we're going to see when that yellow light came on again.
Well, we won't have another attempt. It was just 2 attempts. That's it. Checkered flag for Josh Cottle, the winner of the Rocket iRace Wraps 150. Brett Suggs going to come home 2nd. Ty Majeski going to finish 3rd. Daniel Pope 4th. Trevor Edwards 5th. Cole Cavery 6th. Dylan Bates, RS Center, Kyle Souza, and it looks like Cam Hamilton going to pick up a top 10.
Wow. So it finishes under caution. I hate that.
Spencer Dickinson going to finish 11th. Parker Trace 12th. Kyle Eli, Eric Tracy, Wally Wilson, your top 5, or top 15 rather. Shane Williamson 16th. Keith Jeffrey, Aaron Johnson, John Ouellette, and Jason Warren, your top 20. Sean Cool, Ryan Kuhn, Jacob Harberts, Ryan Matthews, Rick Rube, Matt Rolfe, Kyle Meyer, your 27 starters tonight. But Josh Cottle with a huge win. And I think I said it right from the get-go. Those shop cars, you had to look out for them because they were very, very fast. And Josh Cottle did a heck of a job to keep his nose clean, and he was there when it mattered.
I feel like it's just Josh Cottle doing Josh Cottle things at this point, Jeff. This is what we see a lot from this guy. And obviously tonight had a really good car, kept his, like you said, kept his nose clean, waited for things to happen in front of him, and kind of took advantage of some lap traffic issues, and then obviously dominated the race from that point forward.
Yeah, first win of the Super Series season for him, and so he's going to join one of his teammates as a winner there. Trevor Edwards has 2 wins on the season, so I think they're going to be pretty happy with a lot of them didn't get the finishes that they wanted tonight, but the Shop Boys definitely had a lot of speed. Well, our race winner, Josh Cottle, going to join us now. And Josh, we were just talking about it. Your first win of the season. You joined your teammate Trevor Edwards as a winner here in the Super Series this season. It seemed like right from the get-go that the shop cars were going to be the ones to beat. It just came down to who could get to the front and who could survive a lot of the chaos that was happening. What was it like there getting to the front?
Uh, Honestly, it's just about really trying to stay in the inside. The restarts were probably the hardest part, man. If you were on the outside, it was just you got to hang on and hope somebody makes a mistake and try to get down. But I feel like we had definitely a top five car there.
Hey Jeff, did Josh just wake up from a nap or
Yeah, I mean, it's a Super Series
did you?
win, Josh. You could be excited here.
I I feel terrible, man. I want to apologize for Ryan first of all
Whoa, whoa,
for all
whoa, whoa.
that.
That you had nothing to do with that, Josh.
I couldn't see it
You
literally
couldn't see it.
whatsoever.
No,
I just don't.
we actually watched it on the broadcast, Josh. We know you didn't mean to hit him. I mean, that was it happened in front of him. All you could see was spoiler, man. I wouldn't feel bad. You should feel pretty good about this race win. That was a big deal.
Regardless, man, I just want to apologize to him. That's not a way I want to win it. I was just trying to stay as close to him as possible, and it was right in the throttle zone. It was just nothing. I don't know what I could have done different.
I think Jeff and I would both agree there was nothing you could have done different.
Yeah.
That was just a lap car that spun in front of the leader. He tried to avoid it, and you couldn't see it.
Well,
But
Josh.
yeah, we'll continue, Jeff. Before Josh,
Well,
you're supposed to get out of the car and cheer regardless, man. Like, that stuck, but you still won the race.
That's
well,
just not who I am, man.
well, you had that green white checkered finish there at the end, and Brett sent it on the outside there. Were you thinking you were racing to the checkered flag, or were you racing to a yellow there on that final green white checkered?
Honestly, I don't know, man. They got really hectic there at the end. I was trying to try to just stay on the bottom and hold on for dear life and just see what happens. Brett did get a really good start, but that outside of 1 and 2 is it's not good.
Well, let's talk about Nashville Mini, Josh. Now that we've had an opportunity to race it and was one of the most hectic and craziest races we've had all season. But when we talked to the top three last week, we asked them, "Hey, would you guys like to run that Nashville Mini?" Ryan Kuhn being one of those drivers, and they all said yes. We want to run Nashville Mini. How do you feel about it now?
I believe I was the one that in ITZR said I was stressed out for here, and it showed. I was very stressed out during that race, man. We got lap traffic in like 20 laps, and man, it was just terrifying. But after the fact, I mean, it was fun. I wish it was a little easier to pass. You really had to focus on mistakes. Um, but man, it was just really stressful.
Well, Josh, again, we talked about it really early on tonight. It looked like you guys had the cars to beat. Aaron Johnson was up there, Spencer Dickinson. They all looked so fast. And we were kind of wondering, the shop guys, what did you find this week that made you so good on this racetrack? Because it's something so different than, you don't really race. Was there something you guys found, or has your previous stuff just kind of carried over?
Honestly, just previous stuff carried over, man. We definitely worked on the looseness factor from Langley. We all were very loose, so we got that fixed. And then honestly, it's just about making as many laps as possible and just getting comfortable with the track because I don't know, man. It was so line sensitive. You just missed 1 and 2 by an inch, you're 10th off.
Yeah, it looks like you had to put those left side tires right below that yellow line and just keep it all the way down there. And was that something you concentrated on this week, Josh? Actually hitting the line because it was so important?
Oh yeah, man. I ran like 300 laps just trying to get comfortable. Honestly, man. Especially that bump in 1 and 2. I don't know if y'all like how y'all like seeing it, but man, if you're in the car, the left front goes skyrocketing if you miss it, and it's really rough, especially if you have a direct drive.
Well, Josh, before we let you get out of here tonight, I know you probably got a lot of people you want to thank, and a lot of people that help you out throughout the week building these setups. Who do you want to shout out here on the live stream?
Of course, man. I want to thank y'all for doing the broadcast, man. I bet it was exciting to watch.
we were we
Long,
were screaming pretty good throughout this race.
stressful to be in, but I bet it's gonna be exciting to watch. I of course want to thank Matt and everybody that runs SAR. It's an amazing league, probably the best short track league out there, next to ITZR. But yeah, I just want to thank all those people. I think the shop, of course, man, they do all the work they do. We got Kyle this week, Kyle Meyer, and he's been helping a lot. I thank everybody over there for all the work they put in. Elite Performance Industries, all of those people over there as well. driver tees, Rocket iRace Rise for this new beautiful scheme. And of course, I just want to apologize to Ryan again.
Well, Josh, congratulations on a fantastic win, and we're looking forward to seeing how the rest of the season goes for you. Two more races left in the SARA Super Series. You got to be building a little bit of confidence here going into the final rounds, right?
I guess.
All right, Josh. Hopefully we talk to you next week and you're a little bit better mood. Hopefully things go a little bit smoother next week.
Somebody at the
Thank you.
shop get this man a cup of coffee or something like that. I mean, come on.
Hey, I'm not a coffee fan.
Hey, great drive, Josh. Good job, man.
Thank you.
Well, joining us now, our second place finisher, Brett Suggs. And Brett, I was just talking to Josh there at the end of that final green white checkered. Did you feel like you were racing to the end, or you were racing for the yellow? Because it seemed like you sent it off pretty hard in a turn one there, just trying to be ahead.
Yeah, I definitely was hoping that we were going to race it to the end. I didn't want to see a yellow because I knew we only had two green white checkered attempts there. But yellow flag flew. Happy with second. I think hadn't it flown, I don't know if we would have had anything for Josh. I mean, he was fast all race long, but I think we would have had a small shot to be able to drop down on the back stretch. I had Majeski on the left rear there, but I think we might have been able to clear him out of two and then maybe have a run for Jinx. Not sure. I guess we'll never know.
Brett, what's the mindset coming into a race like this on such a short track, knowing that's probably going to be some carnage? How do you prepare yourself when you come onto this racetrack and you're thinking, I want to run up front. How do I get there? What's the plan as you start this race?
I'd say for about half the race, well, I guess it depends on track position and where you qualified, which I really choked my qualifying. I was pretty upset about that. But, really just deciding if you're mid pack, kind of saving your stuff for halfway through and then starting to make a charge up through the field later on, which is what I was going for right around lap 85 to 90 is when I decided I wanted to start moving and got past Shane Williamson there and um, really just stalled out. I mean, I was hearing my lap times getting read off to me, and we were running pretty even with the leader, but not really making up any ground. So at that point, I knew it would just come down to track position, and we got lucky with some carnage up there at the front of the field, and then we just kept getting hung up on the top side for felt like every single restart pretty much. But we did what we could. We'll definitely take it and move on to the next one.
Well, you talked about it. There was some carnage there. You were running six with about 10 to go, and the leaders get collected right in front of you. In that moment, what do you do? Because the entire track was blocked. What was your mindset as you're just hoping to make it through that wreck there?
It was basically like a close your eyes and hope you make it out alive. They all piled up in front of us there, and I think I had Shane behind us, and everybody's just checking up, going in the corner. I think he had help. He helped me get into the corner there, and we were all just checking up. I thought we were going to get spun around and collected in as well. Luckily, I just held the wheel as straight as I could, and we were able to get on through there.
Well, Brett, let's switch over to the real life stuff. Uh, Saw your race at Ace. Well, no, it wasn't Ace Speedway. It was Dillon Speedway
Hmm.
last week. So you ended up having a little bit of an issue, in that race. I was watching, and all of a sudden they're telling us that you're quite a few laps down. What's going on with the Pro Late model? What do you guys? What's coming up in the future, and how did that Dillon race go?
Yeah, so you mentioned it there. The Dillon race, we had a lot of high hopes going into it. I've raced there in the past. I've won there in the past with the Allison Legacy car, so we were confident going into it. Uh, Jumped in. Race day was our only day for practice. We didn't, show up days in advance like a lot of these other big teams. We kind of limited on the budget, so we did race day practice and made a lot of big gains. We kind of threw some curveballs at it and just trying stuff, and it picked up a good bit. We were actually top five every single practice run without stickering up for a qualifying run, and then qualifying came around and we ran good, but some guys that were off a little bit throughout the day picked up in a big way. Like there was this one car that was about 2/10 quicker than the field out of nowhere. So kind of caught us off guard, but we still had a really fast hot rod and really good race pace too. But yeah, it was just right around, I want to say lap 60, just past halfway a little bit. Car just cut off on me down the backstretch, and it did it a handful of times, just kicking back on and off, and had to bring it down to pit road and try to get whatever was amiss figured out. then we pulled back on track and never had another issue after that. Unfortunately, just quite a few laps down. So definitely a bummer. Not too good for points, although we did move up a spot to 6th in points, which is not too shabby as we're just past halfway through the season. But we will be running Caraway on Wednesday, June 28th, and hoping to have a solid run there. We've also won there in the past with the legacy car. I actually hated the track back in the day, so hopefully the big car changes my mind a little bit. But excited to get back out there for another shot at it.
Well, bro, we can't wait to see that one. I believe it probably will be on Flow Racing as well. So if
Mhm.
people want to tune in and watch you race at Caraway Speedway, it'll be on Flow Racing. Brett, before we let you get out of here, is anybody you want to thank? Anybody you want to shout out here on the live stream?
Yeah, just want to thank everybody at JAM, JA Motorsports for getting us a really fast car throughout that whole race. I think we probably could have qualified within the top 5 if I didn't just barely touch the grass on the money lap. So that threw us back a little bit. But big shout out to those guys for really helping us. I didn't turn a lot of practice. Just got in from work from Ohio today, a couple hours ago, so didn't have a whole lot of seat time behind the wheel. But those guys got us up to speed pretty quick. Maconi set up shop, being a big partner with our iRacing and our real racing program. North Creek Ponds, North Creek Construction Group, Lake Norman Power Cleaning, LMI, Task Pack, Technology Solutions, jumping on board here for the second half of the season. And really everybody that supports our real racing program, Breast Legs Racing Marketing, Racer Tees, you guys for always killing these broadcasts, and everybody that supports the overall deal.
All right, Brett, thanks for stopping by, and congratulations. Second place finish, not too shabby. I know you want to get a win, but you still got 2 chances left this season as we head let me take a look at the schedule here real quick. Looks like we're headed to Five Flags next week.
All right. I'm not sure if I'll make it because I'll be doing a lot of traveling, but
All
hopefully we
right.
can be there.
Well, we hope to see you. If not, maybe for the season finale, July 13th at Lanier.
I'm not sure about that one either. I think I'm on the road that week.
Busiest guy in iRacing is what
Yeah,
Brett Suggs is.
yeah. All right, Brett. Well, thanks for taking the time to talk with us, and congratulations on a great finish tonight.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Well, Bill, unfortunately, we can't get our third place finisher, Ty Majeski. You know those NASCAR guys; they got stuff to do, they got places to be. So he's not gonna be able to join us. But I can say you'll see Ty Majeski in 2 weeks at the Nashville Super Speedway. That's the next round for the Craftsman Truck Series. So make sure you tune into that, or if you want to see him race in person, you can head to Nashville Super Speedway in 2 weeks to see the Craftsman Truck Series there. And we just got 2 more races left to go in the Pure Fleet Service Super Series here at SARA. Five Flag Speedway coming up next, the Eddy Performance Solutions 150. And we've had some experience with Five Flags so far. It's a pretty good racetrack for this. Different style racetrack than we saw tonight, but it'll be a fun race.
Yeah, that is a good racetrack. We had a lot of fun there when we went there with ITZR, so I'm looking forward to the SARA Super Series running at that racetrack. And I think we're going to see a much cleaner race than we saw tonight. Obviously, this place, it's going to breed some contact with how small it is. But the Five Flag Speedway, that is a high banked, high speed half mile. So that thing, much different. And I think we'll have a lot of fun there.
Yeah, and the tuners are going to have to get busy because that is going to be a setup racetrack there for sure. So they're going to need to dial in the speed as much as possible. And they've just got about 7 days to do it. So quick turnaround for the SARA Super Series next week. June 22nd, Thursday night, we'll be live at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And then we'll be back in action for ITZR Monday and Tuesday night. The Elite Performance Industries Late Model Shootout Series and the County Road Custom Late Model Challenger Series will be in action. And you're not going to want to miss that, 9 p.m. Eastern both nights. Second round of the playoffs for ITZR as we are closing in on our final 2 races. And that is going to be a lot of fun because things are starting to heat up, and we are down to just 6 drivers racing for the championship in each series.
Oh yeah, it's we're gonna have a lot of fun on Monday and Tuesday night. It'll set our final 4 for both series, so don't miss out on that if you're just a short track fan. These guys are racing for big money over there at ITZR, so yeah, you want to be there on Monday and Tuesday night.
Yeah, absolutely. And a big race for us, the Danny Williamson Memorial 126 presented by SBM. It's a huge race for the short track racing community on iRacing because Danny Williamson was a good friend to so many. And it's just a chance for us to honor him each season in ITZR. And we look forward to seeing you there Monday and Tuesday night. Make sure you're following along with the Sim Auto Racing Association on Facebook. Follow In the Zone Racing on Facebook, and you won't miss any of the racing that we have going on here. Follow us on YouTube, follow us on Twitch, and we will see you next week.